tell me more about yourself?
I'm Dr. Mike Addision, candidate for State Senate, Senate District Seat 40, running against a 24-year veteran, Brad Hutto. We feel like it's time for change. I used to live across the street from Brad Hutto. He's an attorney who treats people in accidents, and I'm a chiropractor he's an attorney that represents people in accidents, and I'm a chiropractor who treats people in accidents. So we've done quite a bit of work over the years, at least the firm of Williams & Williams where he's employed.
Okay. So he's been in the same office 24 years?
And never had any opposition.
Okay. So why do you think that is?
Well, because the Democratic Party used Brad Hutto as the great white hope to talk to the other white Republicans so that the Democrats can get certain things passed or through certain legislation that they want. And they just use Brad as the great white hope. And it's not about the district. It's just about party affiliations and things that they want to do personally that they benefit from. Favorable pass-throughs and pork barrel spending. It's not even about the district at all because they bring no money to the district, no real money.
Well, so pretty much the same thing all over the place.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So go in the background on how you made the decision to run.
Well, to be honest, I was applying to be a candidate for the Board of Trustees of South Carolina State on January the 19th. You had to have the application in by 12 o'clock. I got in the building at Senator Peeler's office at 11:55. Was on my way upstairs to turn in my application, and a security guard detained me for about 6 minutes for frivolous questions about where am I going when I had told him 3 times. So when I get there, it's about 12:02, and they say, well, you can't run to be on the Board of Trustees. You can't be a candidate because your application is 2 minutes late. I said, wait a minute, are you serious? I said, this is a very serious thing. It took me 6 hours to complete this application. They said, we're not even going to take your application. So I said, well, I guess I just run for State Senate because I really wanted to see a change with South Carolina State and other HBCUs. So as I started researching, and I didn't even know who my senator really was. And I thought it was actually John Matthews. So I was prepared to run against John Matthews because I was at that point where I felt like it was time for change because this status quo was just enough for me. I had enough. And so then I dig deeper and I found out that I'm running against Brad Hutto, the guy that was living across the street from me. And prior to me moving back into my place. And there you have it. I made my announcement in February and we started running. And evidently we must be doing something because I just got a robocall from James Clyburn supporting Brad Hutto. And I was like, man, y'all Democrats told me y'all were going to stay neutral. Y'all weren't going to get involved in this. So I see now gloves are off. So since you want to take the gloves off, we can play that game too. Because see, what has happened in our country, Mr. Abraham, is young black people, and I'm old enough to be on that high age limit of the young blacks, we're tired and we're sick or tired of being tired of the same old status quo, going out to vote, looking for your leadership to help make a change, to bring things and make an improvement in our communities. It's not happening. They're keeping things the same old slave mentality, the same old white man with the knee on the black man's neck. And now it's the black man with the knee on the black man's neck, just furthering and perpetuating this thing of this racism that perpetuates in this country. So my thing is, and I don't know who they're trying to call me, but someone calling you.
Yeah, she's trying to come in.
But my thing is, we got to keep moving forward.
What just happened? Yes. Miss Franks just joined us.
Okay. I saw the phone call. She called in.
I'm on mute. You all have me on mute.
Okay.
That's fine. You have me on mute.
You're not muted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So basically they called in and got Clyburn to endorse your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah. And the local paper, the Trash and Dirt, or we call it the Times of Democrats, are prepared to run a negative campaign against me tomorrow.
Oh, so they're pulling all the heavy.
So I mean, they're pulling them all out. I was like, my goodness, we only put 10 grand in the campaign. You know, I said, Hutto's up over 6 figures in it. I said, well, you know, if you don't do anything for the people, you got to spend money like that.
Right.
But we've been offering free coronavirus testing. I've probably done over 600, close to 700 people. His people try to stop us from doing the testing. Now, here we are in a black district where black people are struggling from this corona epidemic or this pandemic, and you're going to call DHEC or have your people, Dr. Delaney, whose son works in your law firm, call DHEC to try to stop us from helping our people out in our district. That ain't right, and we won't put up with it. We want them to take their knee off our neck so we can breathe. We can continue to live our lives the way God designed it for us, not with them stifling us. And we won't put up with that anymore. And the young people are showing you every day, they're tired. They're tired and they're looking for guidance, but not the same old status quo. And here we are talking to Nathaniel Abraham.
Okay, so once you win the seat, what are some of your plans?
They're running for James Clyburn's seat. No, I'm just teasing.
Come on. Come on.
I like it when you smile, Abraham. But no, it's yet you know, there are things that we want to see. We want to fix the water system in Denmark because the people are drinking dirty water. We want to help improve the educational system, you know, and with the higher education, in particular, South Carolina State, Denmark Tech, Voorhees, Claflin, our HBCUs. We want to make sure we can improve those. We also want to look at some of the other issues that deal with pork barrel spending and these pass-throughs. If you're going to be providing monies to nonprofit organizations, we like to know who they are and what they're doing with the money, the taxpayers' money. We're going to visit the pay for teachers and see if there's something we can do on a district level to improve compensation for teachers, especially in the rural districts. We want to take the resources of our rural districts and employ those resources so we can bring more funding to the rural districts without having to go to the state in Columbia begging them to help us out when we can help ourselves. And one of the things we want to do, we want to continue to fight this coronavirus. As we reopen the state, we want to make sure that we're reopening the state properly and that businesses and churches and synagogues and mosques are sanitizing as they invite people in. Not just cleaning, but properly sanitizing to help push back this coronavirus and reduce the spread. And those are a few things that we're looking at.
Okay. Okay. So election is Tuesday. How are you going to get your folks to the poll and make sure they vote for you?
Well, we've gotten thousands of people to the poll already, and we knew that the Democratic Party would come after me if we gained too much traction against Brad Hutto, which we, according to our polls and surveys that we've done, we see that we're almost running neck and neck with a 24-year incumbent. And this is a new guy, Mike Addision, coming out of the starting blocks for the first time ever running for office, especially in the senatorial race. So what we plan on doing is reaching out to the people that we've already set up. We have a pretty strong ground campaign, but due to the COVID virus, it's almost have to be communications through Zoom and just through people you know. And people who you know get people they know to get people they know to the poll. And we anticipate probably bad weather next week. So we want to get everybody out the rest of this week. We want to get everybody out so they can go vote. And a lot of people are going out even without us asking because they're ready for change. And you cannot get change if you continue to do the same thing you did yesterday, the year before, and 24 years ago. It's not going to change. My opponent's not going to come in and make a change in anything. Nothing. Other than his bank account. That's the only change that's going to occur.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I might suggest that probably at this time you might want to describe, unless you have described the district earlier and some of the challenges, and maybe also talk about the tornadoes that flattened some significant parts of the district, and the fact that there's no help right now. And maybe the people, because everything is on the internet and that area really lacks, there's a significant portion of that district that lacks high-speed broadband.
That's a good point. You know, we represent Allendale, Bamberg, Barnwell, Colleton, Hampton, and Orangeburg counties. It's 6 counties in this district. Bamberg and Barnwell, full counties. The other 4 are parts of the county, a portion of each one. And so we've been recently hit by a rash of tornadic activity. And in addition to that, the people have challenges because they've lost their homes. They've lost their jobs due to the pandemic and their homes due to the inclement weather. So we're researching to see how we can help get funding to those people to help them out. Because some people are homeless now as a result of the pandemic and the storms. And so being in a rural area, quite a few of the industrial complexes have left. So we're trying to encourage industry to come back. But not only that, take the resources that we have and develop our own industries. And we could do that as well. But we have to study the CARES Act. We have to look at the stimulus package to see if there's still funding available for the constituents within our district.
Okay. 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 So you mentioned getting people out. So you have a good ground game to get people to come out and vote absentee, so they can get their ballots in, and having to wait till Tuesday.
That's correct. We're trying to get them out early so they don't have to wait till Tuesday. And in some locations, the polls will be open on Saturday. In particular, in Colleton County, they're open on Saturday. I was told Orangeburg might be closed. I don't know for certain. I have to call Columbia and see, because Columbia asked that all polls, registration offices be open from 9 to 1 on Saturday because of the pandemic.
Okay, but so the folks in Orangeburg aren't giving out information yet.
No, that from early on, some of my volunteers have stated that it might be closed, but we don't know for certain.
Okay. Okay.
That's called soft voter suppression.
Soft, yes.
Or I guess in this case, intra-party.
Yeah, intra-party, right.
Might want to share so that Mr. and Mrs. Abraham are not caught blindsided. You also might want to share some of those questions. I think, Dr. Addison, that you got from the reporter at the Times and Democrat.
Yeah, they a guy named Gene Selesky who sent over some questions about the article they plan to run tomorrow on me in reference to things that occurred back in the 90s and early 2000s in reference to my practice as a physician, chiropractic physician, any disciplinary actions against the license, and also any criminal activity as far as arrests, conviction, and incarcerations. They want to bring up the whole thing on me, but none on my opponent. And he has quite a few fractures in his past, but they're not bringing those forward, just things on me. And I remind them, we all are human and we all have made mistakes. But if you want to try to make that my character at age 54, then you're going to be highly mistaken, and everyone's not going to fall for that. But we know what your attempt is, because we've gained so much ground on your incumbent that the newspaper is working towards him or for him, because we've done 4 coronavirus testing events in this district. And this local newspaper, the Times and Democrat, has not even told the people about the free testing. So people are suffering, not knowing they could get free testing because the Times and Democrat withheld the information from them. And I'm like, this is such biased reporting with your media. You know, where I'm from, my grandmother said, people don't let you play their ball, go get your own. We wouldn't love to open our own paper if we had to. But we got the panorama. Let's reach out and help expand the Orangeburg area in the panorama. You know, no reason to reinvent the wheel when you guys have a viable, wonderful paper that comes out on a weekly basis.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Okay. So what else you want potential voters to know?
We want our voters to go on Facebook and meet us if they need.
Been a good idea to mute me, but I wanted to say something. I wanted to just suggest something. You know, when a person asks you for their vote, first question I want to know, and you know we're all Southerners, and we want to know who your people, where you from, who are you? And I think that's always important, you know, because I know that Mr. and Mrs. Abraham, and I've been knowing you and your father for years and years and years, and I always think when you know where a person came from, then you know their character, and you know how hard they'll fight for you. So maybe it's important for Dr. Addision for you to talk about who you are, where you come from, your mother, and you know what kind of challenges and what makes you tenacious and ready to fight for the people in District 40 who parallel and maybe mirror some of the same people that you grew up with.
Well, you know, that's interesting because my mother, she raised 5 of us, me and my 4 sisters, made sure all of us went to college and got a good education. We lived in the projects or near the projects on Myrtle Street in Hartsville with very low income. And so, you know, she taught us a lot. She kept us in church. She gave us a good foundation on truth and honesty and fairness in how we treat people. And so we take that and translate that into education, into our efforts and training. And here we are now, you know, at the undergrad, graduate school, professional training, and offering the same opportunity to others and taking a very, very strong interest in higher education because we know what doors it opened for us, my sisters and I, and myself in particular. And so we continue to stress that and move that forward. So, you know, just a little bit about us, you know, being from Hartsville and raised up in the AME church. And I actually taught Sunday school when I was 16 years old because she kept us in the church and we had to learn the scriptures and know the biblical stories and those stories translated over into our lives or how we treat people. But that's basically it.
Okay, so that's where your passion comes from.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, okay. Like I said, yeah. Anything else you want the potential voters in your district to know about you or your campaign?
Well, one last thing is we want to help people with their unemployment benefits. We want to help people with the disability benefits, and we want to help people with their stimulus stuff, stimulus packet as far as information and what they need. And we also want to make sure that people understand they're not alone in this fight or this pandemic, and that they have a friend, they have someone they can reach out to, and then go from there. But that's basically it. But I thank you, Mr. Abraham, for your time. And I'd definitely like for you, you have my information, and anything else that we could do to work together, help each other, I certainly would appreciate the opportunity.
Okay.